The purpose of this paper is to explore language mediation in the legal field, a crucial discipline in today's global context of increasing linguistic and cultural diversity. Indeed, court interpreter ensures that all people taking part in a trial can participate fairly, so that they in turn can understand and be understood. The right to an interpreter enshrined in national and international laws, playing an essential role in ensuring equality before the law and justice for all. It is based on the principle of non-discrimination and the recognition of linguistic diversity as an essential element in building inclusive societies. Various techniques can be used by a translator during a trial, such as simultaneous interpreting, consecutive interpreting, or chuchotage, although each of them involves difficulties. For example, in simultaneous interpreting, the interpreter has to deal with overlapping listening, translation, and rendering in the target language, different accents, or even technical problems. A complete rendering is certainly not expected, as it is almost impossible to perfectly report all the notions received. In courtrooms, however, it is not always possible to practice it, since the available equipment is limited, and interpreters have to adapt to the suboptimal acoustic conditions and work with a considerable distance between them and the event participants. The legal context is a sensitive area, requiring specific expertise not only in the languages involved, but also in terminology. In fact, relying on an expert is essential. Unfortunately, however, there have been several cases in history of punishments imposed because of mistranslations. For example, an interpreter in 2004 passed off a woman originally from Bangladesh as a murderer of her husband, when in fact she was merely a witness. As mentioned earlier, court interpreters are a crucial figure in the Italian legal system, but also in the US legal system. In the United States, they are called court interpreters, must be certified and go through a rigorous selection and training process to demonstrate their competence in legal languages and terminology. They take training courses offered by academic programs and specialized organizations. In the United States, there is a distinction between the federal and the state legal systems, with each state having its own legislation and judicial authority. The system follows a common law approach, based on jurisprudential precedents leading to different interpretation of laws. Unlike other European countries where the figure of the sworn translator exists, in Italy the person who assists the judge is defined by law as a court-appointed technical consultant. This designation does not require the approval of a state examination, but a translator-interpreter interested in becoming a CTU must sign in the appropriate registers of the court clerks and may be called upon to perform his function. They will then in fact be appointed directly by the court and are often freelance professionals. They must pass a bar exam to be licensed to practice, with evaluation of language and interpreter skills. The legal system is unified and based on civil law, but interpretations can vary among courts. In fact, each judge interprets the law according to his specific skills, experience, and knowledge. Despite these differences, the common goal is to overcome language barriers. But how did the figure of the interpreter originate? Its origin is traced as far back as ancient Egypt, thanks to carvings and evidence of figures who performed the important task of translating and facilitating communication between people of different languages. One of the oldest examples is a striking Egyptian bas-relief found on the tombs of the Princess of Elephantine. Interpreters were also in demand in many areas of ancient Roman society, for example in public administration, commerce, the religious field, and the military. The profession began to consolidate thanks to the Paris Conference, where simultaneous interpretation played a key role for the first time internationally. But the culmination of the birth of simultaneous interpretation and, consequently, the consolidation of the figure of the interpreter came with the Nuremberg trials. Here, the presence of interpreters was crucial, as the proceedings involved judges, lawyers, and witnesses from different nations. Without simultaneous interpretation in 4 languages, the entire trial could not have taken place. In conclusion, language mediation in the legal field is an indispensable element in ensuring a fair, inclusive, and accessible system for all.